Hey there! How the heck are you? Hey, I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer, and I'm out on my patio today. It is odd that this is December 2nd, and it's like 60-something degrees out here. That's very weird for this time of year. But there is no global warming, right? Okay, anyway. I digress. Genesee Cream Ale. I found these. I bought 3 of them. They were $1.19 a can. I mean, once you think about that, it's a 24-ounce can. I'm gonna round up to $1.20. That means I pay $3.60 a 6-pack. Now I have to drink the equivalent of 2 beers at a time, but like that's a hardship. You know what I'm saying? I did a video for this the other day where I just popped her straight out of the can and drank it, just to kind of give it the old school treatment. But I am going to go with a glass this time. This isn't quite a 24-ounce glass. If I had one, I would have used it. But I know this is about a 20-ounce glass. But with the head, I'm probably only going to get a solid 16 in here. Pours pretty good. That's a nice golden. I said in the other video, I heard someone on a beer group site called this the best bad beer. Yeah, maybe. I believe it's 5.2. When this first came out, I mean, it probably had a lot of flavor for the time here in the States. But it's a solid golden, though, a little darker than many, American style adjunct lagers. Look at that. Okay, we'll go with that. Let's start there. Not a whole lot of aroma, to be honest with you. A little bit there. I'm not sure if it's because it came out of the can or if it's kind of the way it smells, but it does have a little metallic nose to it, to be honest. Oh, it was a nice swig I just took, kind of whoa, just got home from work, just the first beer of the night kind of swig, and that's kind of the beer it is, right? Some people do, beer geeks don't want to admit to drinking beers like this, but almost all of them do. I mean, you gotta have something fizzy yellow every once in a while. But this is the kind of beer you want to have when you come home from work and you're tired. Wait to drink that more expensive beer later when you can sit down and enjoy it. But when you just want to have a relaxing, you just want to take a nice swig. This is a good beer to have for that. I mean, it's relatively inexpensive. So, if you're going to power down that first one, maybe you had a hard day at work. Maybe you just finished mowing the lawn and want something refreshing. Well, here you go. I mean, it's light. It's refreshing. Not a whole lot of flavor, but again, it is refreshing, The flavors don't linger on your taste buds. Sometimes you want that, especially when you're drinking a good beer. But with a beer like this, you don't. You want it to kind of finish and go away, and then you're on to the next one. Oh, it is easy to drink. I'd kind of gotten away from drinking beers like this altogether, to be honest with you. I hadn't had in several years, but due to circumstances and situations and money being tight and all, I have been drinking more of this type of beer this year. I revisited this one and found it that I enjoy it from time to time. I actually like it in the bottles better because I do like the stubbies that it comes in. Again, that's kind of a nostalgic thing that just sometimes you get them stubbies really cold and they're just easy to pound, man, when you want to just knock one down real fast. I love the little cans or the little bottles that come in. But I also bought throughout the course of the year. I've purchased. I was able to find some Olympia up in St. Louis, and that's what my dad drank. So I bought a few 12-packs of that over the course of the year. I also bought a 30-pack or 2 of regular Genesee because I was able to find it at a store for $12.99 a 30-pack. Again, the light American adjunct lager. But there were many days we were home. and it was 100+ degrees. I mean, it's a perfect beer for that. So sometimes you got to put that snobbery away. Okay, it's easy to say, well, I never drink that kind of beer, but I mean, almost everybody has their one guilty pleasure beer, and usually the ones that tell you they don't are lying to you. So. Uh, this we talked about. I talked about temperature doing an oyster stout that really opened up at about 45, 50 degrees. This one, no. You want this baby cold, man. You want this bad boy cold. You want it freezing to death. I mean, you want it this close to ice crystals. That's how cold you want this thing. You want it just before it turns to ice crystals on you. That's how cold you want that beer. That's when it's at its best. Oh. Interesting. There are some flavors going on I'm picking up. Again, it's not going to be the most flavorful beer you ever had. It's not what it's supposed to be. A lot of beer geeks want to turn beers into something else. Well, it doesn't do this or it doesn't do that. Sometimes they're just not supposed to. This is meant to be a light, refreshing ale. It's got a little bit of flavor, but not tons. It's not going to overwhelm your palate, but it's certainly got a little more flavor than your typical American adjunct lager. The can doesn't give me any information. And I didn't look it up on a website before doing this video because I've done a couple videos for Genesee before where I had the information. So I didn't figure that was important this time around because we're more just having a beer, having a conversation. Oh. We're kind of just taking it easy today. Seamus has kind of had a up and down week, so he's kind of resting today, so we're just kicking back. I fixed us a nice breakfast, but now we're just gonna do kind of finger foods and watch a movie a little bit later. I've got this crock pot. It's got it's like I've got the three small crock pots in it. So in one crock pot, I've got some little smokies. With a homemade kind of smoky, tangy, spicy barbecue sauce going in them. And then I've got some cocktail meatballs with a homemade sweet and sour, kind of a sweet and sour cocktail meatball. And the third one, I'm doing this kind of ham, hash brown kind of casserole with some, as some leftover ham from Thanksgiving. Excuse me. I'm gonna burp. Hold my finger. Oh, thank you. Anyways, with some Swiss cheese, kind of, kind of like a gratin kind of thing, but with the shredded rather than a sliced tater. So anyway, this is the kind of beer that you'd see at most bars way back in the day, Genesee Brewing, Rochester, New York. Same breweries that bring you Dundee, for instance. They also, I believe it's North American Craft Brewery, if I remember correctly. But I've looked it up before. But I think it's North American Breweries. But they also do the Dundees, Magic Hat, several others. It's funny, a lot of breweries that you think are independent aren't. They're owned by a larger conglomerate. This one isn't quite as big as say AB InBev or SAB Miller Coors, but a lot of these breweries that you think are independent aren't anymore. They're getting swallowed up left and right. I recently found out that Red Hook, Kona, and Widmer were partially owned by AB InBev. The last I saw was just a little over 32%. And from the information that I found, AB InBev is mostly involved in the distribution side of it, but still, it kind of makes you go, "Oh man," because you love these guys to stay independent. You know what I mean? And one more swig. Let's get this baby down. Okay, well, we did it out of the can. We poured it in a glass. Again, it's not going to be your favorite beer, but, again, it's time and place. I think there's probably a time and place for a beer like this. Maybe budget plays a part. Maybe weather plays a part, Or maybe nostalgia plays a part. But, hey, there's a time and place for everything. So, hey, Genesee Cream Ale, not the worst thing I ever drank. Not the worst thing I ever wrapped my lips around, I'll tell you that right now.